Tonight on Nightline, what would Jesus download? This is Godtube, the Christian answer to YouTube and the fastest growing website in the country.
The Lord is my shepherd. I'm looking at the camera while I'm doing the Bible verse.
Okay, good.
Why don't you look in the camera?
Oh, okay.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not be alone. He makes me lay down in green pastures.
Godtube is the fastest growing website on the internet. It is, among other things, the Christian answer to YouTube.
Surely, yeah? Surely goodness will follow me all the days of my life.
Surely goodness and love.
Surely goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I'll dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
Godtube's top videos reveal a community that couldn't be more different than YouTube. There are music videos here, too. Christian music. But you'll also find stuff not likely to turn up on YouTube. Like this dramatic depiction of the end of the world, the rapture.
Jesus Christ could come this month, or he might come next week, or he could even come...
Or this, a letter from hell.
My heart is bursting with fear. They're holding me over the flames. I'm down forever. This is it. They have thrown me in. Fire. Pain. Hell. Elijah, why didn't you ever tell me about Jesus?
Right now, our goal really is to reach the 2.1 billion Christians and help them experience faith in a way that they've never been able to do it.
Chris Wyatt is the founder of Godtube, which launched earlier this year and was growing by almost 1,000% by August.
In this case, this is the hour of power.
In Godtube's offices outside of Dallas, Wyatt made clear he and his colleagues and backers are thinking big, very big. People say it's kind of a niche market you're trying to reach. Is that the way you look at it?
Well, interestingly enough, if a niche is 2.1 billion people, I'll take that niche. 2.1 billion, Christians out there in the world, but really we're targeting not only the Christians, but also the 4 billion out there that are seeking faith. So while some of us consider a niche, 100+ million Americans consider themselves Christians, I'll take that niche any day.
Wyatt and Godtube are taking that niche and running with it. So right now we are on live on Godtube.
That's correct.
I'm broadcasting on Godtube.
You sure are. And if we go right here to the home page, and I scroll down a little bit, there's my icon, tentatively yours, and when I click on that, we now see a live stream of what I am broadcasting.
Jason Martell, Godtube's chief technology officer, showed off the company's next big thing, a video chat room, all part of the website's effort to mount a Christian-themed challenge not just to YouTube, but to social networking sites like MySpace and Facebook, too. So what kind of users would do this? What would be done with this functionality?
Well, as an example, many churches and ministries, their whole outreach program is about getting new users to hear their message and to bring in more donor acquisitions and, of course, increase membership. So using the power of the internet allows these ministries and churches to reach out to a global community.
But there's more.
Yes, Iván León. Bienvenidos a las noticias del ambiente cristiano. Traído a usted por Godtube.com en español.
Godtube now produces Christian-themed news broadcasts in English and Spanish for its website. For Chris Wyatt, a former CBS television producer, it's all part of the grand plan.
So we don't really see ourselves necessarily as a competitor to YouTube or Facebook. What we really see ourselves is really kind of to define the new interactive television model on the internet, and it seems to be working.
Which is uploading videos from users, downloading your own produced news and other pieces, and a social network site as well.
That, as well as the live broadcasting component, chats from around the world, call-in. We're building a studio over here to do call-in programs and everything else. So you're going to see a very inexpensive, cost-effective way, certainly to produce programming for the web.
But wait a minute. All this whiz-bang, wired Christianity, all of Godtube's ambitions and its early successes raised some questions. Like, whatever happened to this?
Father, to see the joy in these children's faces,
Throughout human history, religious worship has been a communal experience, something that brings people together. The fellowship of a shared spiritual journey and practice is, for countless millions, a real source of happiness and fulfillment in their lives. On Godtube, the experience is different.
Oh, baby, I want to read with you, 'cause your Bible got pictures. My minister tried to console me, but that book you got makes
me so holy.
Long term, I think Godtube.com teaches Christians that they don't have to be afraid of technology.
Dr. Mike Miller is Godtube's chief marketing officer. He's a former pastor of Baptist congregations in Dallas, Oklahoma, and California.
As a ministry, you must have a sense that praying together, worshiping together, sharing fellowship together, physically,
yes,
that's one thing. You go online, you click your mouse, that's another thing.
It is. It's a challenge. And so the question of, what is the role of spirituality in a virtual world? I don't know about all of that. I just know that the reality of it is so many people, for whatever reasons, are alone. They're isolated. You can't get past their gated community. You can't get into their apartments. But God's there. And our hope was, well, maybe this is a way to reach out.
Of course, one of the dangers of reaching out on the internet is that you never know what you might find. Porn, predators, hate speech, and all kinds of things decidedly un-Christian. And so Godtube has set up an elaborate security system. Everything is monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The boast they like to make here is that Godtube is family-friendly and kid-safe, and that takes a lot of work.
Every video that's uploaded to the site is actually reviewed. That's very important. We have electronic defense systems which will disallow anybody from typing in objectionable curse words, for example. On top of that, our database is not only scrubbed for sexual offenders, but also for violent offenders. Every single one of the video chat streams is watched by a live person.
There are more than 800,000 hours of uploaded video already on Godtube, and at the end of the day, the millions of people who've logged on so far are looking for, finding, and sharing something different. Faith.
So let's make sure we're serving the right Christ, not a wolf in sheep clothing that's got you enticed. The true one. Want to make you new one. The only begotten Son.
Yes. And you can find some of Godtube's most popular clips on our website, nightline.abcnews.com.